Welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're taking heavy-duty veterinary guidelines and parasitology research and transforming it all into a complete, easy-to-follow household survival guide. We're going to look really closely at the invisible threats that might be sharing your home right now and give you the absolute best, scientifically backed strategies to protect both your pets and your family.
All right, let's just dive right in and tackle a question that honestly, most of us pet owners completely dread thinking about. Can you actually catch worms from your furry best friend? Well, the short answer is a resounding yes. But hey, don't panic just yet. Understanding exactly how that happens is your absolute best first line of defense.
To give you the full picture, here's our roadmap for today's Explainer. 1. The hidden household threat. 2. Common types of worms. 3. Natural versus prescription to wormers. 4. Managing deworming side effects. 5. How to administer tablets. And 6. Sanitizing your home. Let's get to it. Section 1. The hidden household threat.
So, did you know that 80% of kids kiss their pets? I mean, it's a super heartwarming image, right? We all adore our animals. But I was totally shocked to learn that the reality shifts pretty dramatically when you realize those affectionate pets might have just ingested worm eggs, or they might even have microscopic eggs clinging right to their fur. When we cuddle or groom them or let them lick our faces, we are putting ourselves directly in the line of transmission.
And to really put the sheer scale of this problem into perspective, just think about this number: 15 million. A single untreated dog and her puppies can produce around 15 million roundworm eggs every single day. Let that sink in for a second. Those eggs are going straight into your yard, onto your floors, and onto your furniture. This is exactly why we've got to take this incredibly seriously.
Section 2. Common types of worms.
Now let's build on this by identifying the specific enemies we're dealing with here. Knowing what you're fighting makes it significantly easier to protect yourself. The big takeaway is that roundworms, tapeworms, and hookworms, they all have their own unique, sneaky pathways right into our bodies. You can actually pick up roundworms just from petting your dog or eating unwashed salad greens from the garden. And hookworm larvae, they can literally burrow directly into your skin if you're just walking barefoot through contaminated yard soil. It's a whole hidden ecosystem of transmission happening right under our noses.
Now, if you're wondering what happens if we ignore this, the severity is pretty alarming. Humans can actually contract hydatiid disease from a specific type of tapeworm passed through dog feces. When ingested by a human, these eggs hatch, and the larvae actually migrate through the bloodstream to form fluid-filled cysts in major organs, like your liver or lungs. This is definitely not something you can just fix with a simple pill. It's a serious disease that can take months of treatment and might even require surgery.
Which brings us to Section 3. Natural versus prescription dewormers.
With stakes this high for both our pets and our families, we have to tackle the massive amount of misinformation out there about treating these infestations. Look, you might be super tempted to go the natural route, things like garlic, pumpkin seeds, or diatomaceous earth. But let's look at what the science actually says. Diatomaceous earth is touted all over the internet, but it completely loses its efficacy in the wet environment of a dog's gut. And garlic? Sure, it seasons your dinner perfectly, but the toxic truth is it can actually dissolve and destroy your dog's red blood cells. On the flip side, prescription medications give us rigorous, scientifically tested safety thresholds and exact weight-adjusted dosing that actually targets the parasite.
And relying on unproven natural treatments doesn't just fail to help, it actively causes harm by delaying the real treatment. Think about it. It gives the parasites a massive head start to just multiply, which is incredibly dangerous, especially if you're dealing with vulnerable puppies or senior dogs with weaker immune systems.
That is exactly why the overall veterinary consensus, and specifically the Companion Animal Parasite Council, firmly recommends year-round broad-spectrum control programs. They strongly advise against using those unproven household remedies and urge pet owners to use regular, scientifically validated treatments to stop these life cycles dead in their tracks.
All right, Section 4, Managing Deworming Side Effects. So, once you make the right choice and give them the proper prescription, you need to be prepared for what happens next. If your dog gets a mild upset stomach, a bit of diarrhea, or, brace yourself, actually passes visible dead worms in their stool, just take a deep breath. Seriously, do not panic. These are completely normal reactions. It's known as a parasite die-off reaction. As the medication kills the worms, they release toxins that temporarily upset your dog's system, but it usually clears up entirely on its own in about 24 to 48 hours. Now here's a fantastic little pro tip to make this whole ordeal way easier on your pet. Just give the medication right alongside a light, bland meal. Having a little food in their stomach can significantly reduce the chances of that mild irritation and vomiting we just talked about.
That being said, you absolutely must keep a close eye on them. If you're seeing persistent vomiting that lasts more than a day, bloody diarrhea, or really scary neurological signs like severe weakness, tremors, or breathing difficulty, that is not a normal die-off reaction. If any of those happen, you need to contact your veterinarian immediately for emergency guidance.
Let's jump into Section 5, How to Administer Tablets. Now we get to the really practical challenge. How on earth do you actually get a stubborn dog to swallow a medicinal pill? We all know those clever dogs that can inhale an entire bowl of food and somehow magically spit out a perfectly clean pill at the end, right? Well, for them, the direct tableting method is your best clinical bet. It's safe and it ensures the medicine goes down. You just gently open their mouth, place the tablet as far back on the tongue as you possibly can, close their mouth, and give a gentle rub under their chin. Rubbing the chin actually triggers a natural swallowing reflex. It's quick and it's painless.
Of course, if your dog is highly food motivated, good old-fashioned trickery totally works wonders too. Try hiding the tablet in a tiny piece of strong-smelling cheese or sausage, something that really masks the scent of the pill. Give it to them right before their regular dinner when they're the hungriest, or just grab a commercial pill pocket designed specifically for this.
And finally, Section 6, Sanitizing Your Home.
This is perhaps the most important step for your family's safety, because treating the dog is really only half the battle. The other half is rigorously treating your environment. When it comes to indoor decontamination, I hate to say it, but your standard vacuuming simply isn't going to cut it. These microscopic worm eggs are literally incredibly sticky and super resilient. You have to deploy heat, like steam cleaning your carpets, because high heat is one of the absolute best ways to kill those stubborn eggs. You also need heavy-duty solutions. Mop those hard floors with a strong bleach mixture and use the acetic acid found in vinegar to break down the sticky outer layers of the eggs on your surfaces so you can actually wipe them away. Oh, and definitely wash all those dog beds on the highest heat setting possible.
Now, outside in the yard, your strategy needs to shift. Your absolute best defense is actually the simplest, just picking up dog poop every single day. Seriously, do not let it sit there. Removing the feces stops the larvae from ever hatching and entering your soil in the first place. You can also carefully use drying agents like borax and contaminated dirt. Definitely make sure children's sandboxes are strictly covered when they aren't being used. And always wash your hands vigorously after any yard work.
And here is exactly why that daily yard maintenance is so utterly vital. I honestly found this staggering. Some parasites, like whipworm eggs, can literally lay in wait in your garden soil for up to 5 years. 5 years! If you leave infected waste in the yard today, your pet, or even worse, your child, could pick up that exact same parasite half a decade from now.
So remember, deworming your pets and sanitizing your house aren't just gross, annoying pet chores. They are essential, completely non-negotiable steps to protect your entire family's health and well-being from a very real, very present threat. Which leaves us with one final, incredibly important question to ask yourself as we wrap up today's explainer. Considering everything we've just learned about microscopic eggs and how easily they transmit, how safe is your living room floor right now?